Assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. I'm Brother Mandene T. Muhammad. Welcome you to Muhammad and Friends, produced by CROE Television Production, a production with you in mind. So excited to be able to talk to you on this great platform that we have to help disseminate and examine, amplify the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad via this wonderful platform that we have here. We are streaming live. The number is 773-434-6625. If you're checking us out on our social media outlets, namely Facebook, you can go to CROE TV and like and share the broadcast, and also on YouTube on our CROE TV channel, like, share, and subscribe so you'll be notified every time that we go live. Also, a program note, CROE's monthly film showing will be this month, November the 19th, here at CROE 2435 West 71st Street. The film showing will be part 2 of the Buzz Anderson interview with Messenger Elijah Muhammad. That'll be at 2 p.m. It's free. It's free. You can't get this type of knowledge anywhere for free like this. You're getting a rare historical interview with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his Phoenix home, conducted by Buzz Anderson. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great, and I thoroughly encourage you to come on out and check us out November the 19th here at CROE. Again, that's 2435 West 71st Street. I'm so excited to have our first guest this evening, all the way from, I don't know where he may have planted his flag at this time around, but we're going to find out, because the brother's always somewhere, always working, and we just appreciate him. Our dear brother, originally from Alabama, our dear brother Clarence Muhammad. Brother Clarence, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How you doing, my brother?
Oh, I'm fine. Doing great to be with the believers here at CROE today.
All praise is due to Allah. It's good to see you, my brother. I know you've been around for a long time, and
Yes, sir.
you pride yourself of being a man, not so much about town in a partying type of way, but a man about town and getting out that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, connecting
Yes,
our
sir.
people. So, my
Yes,
brother.
sir.
So how's everything? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I have been working in Detroit for about 8 weeks, getting out, mobilizing the vote, training folks how to knock on doors. It's been a great experience. I'm about 2 or 3 days away from leaving Detroit, and ready to go back to Alabama. And we've been here in Chicago. We had a great meeting with the brothers, FOI meeting, and that was just so exciting, and been good to fellowship with yourself and the believers here in Chicago who've just made a wonderful experience. I want to give a shout out to a sister from Let's Eat to Live restaurant.
Sister Carmela.
And we, 3 of the brothers from Birmingham, we came, they had sold out of food, and everybody worked the restaurant. So we got no more food, we ain't got no more food. And she said, you know what, here's a little food left over on me.
Yeah.
And so I just really want to let her know we appreciate her accommodating all of the brothers from all over the country and everywhere. And that's been great to come in to get a Muslim. And I love the way you all push. Let's make sure we keep our dollars with ourselves. And that's what we really attempted to do this weekend.
Absolutely. Sister Carmela definitely deserves that shout out, because that's everything, everyday thing for her. She's a natural when it comes to that, and she's a planner. And so that's I'm glad you was able to experience
Yes,
to Live Cafe. So let's talk about you. Let's take it back a little bit and how you got started, because I know you are a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
No doubt.
But you also pride yourself as a political not an activist, but a political liaison and a
consultant.
Activist. Yeah, consultant is the word I'm looking for. So let's talk about how you your journey through these different levels.
My first experience was with our minister at the time, Minister William Muhammad, who was very active in the community at that time, and the minister for Birmingham, Alabama. He got the brothers involved in a mayoral race. The incumbent mayor at the time was the legendary Richard or Dick Arrington, and he wanted to support that guy that he thought was most progressive. So that was my first experience. Just passing out ballots back 30 years ago. I think it was 1992 or 93. And then later on, about 2000, I got involved in a mayoral race. Was a guy named Bob Johnson. And then where I got known was 2006. Formerly, just lost, but he's been that 16-year state representative, Rod Scott. We ran a great grassroots campaign, and he won. And then again, Carol Smitherman, about 3 years later, she was the city council person for District 6, and she was on her political deathbed in They called me in there with a few people, and we were able to save her. And then that's when I really started getting involved in a professional way in politics.
So you
2009.
2009 kind of what they say, cut your teeth
I did
during that time. There was something about it. But
Yeah.
that's something that they always try to say about the Muslim followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that with dealing with politics. Now the messenger wasn't out there with I just voted button, or go out there and rally for Johnny or rally for Susie, anything like that. But he also said, but he did say, I should say, put the Muslim program to Congress.
Yeah.
The best politician is a Muslim politician, and he said if you're going to vote, vote your interests. And there were great giants that he supported, not only in words, but monetarily also. For example, here in Chicago, Wesley South, who was a former owner of the WVON radio, he had dinner with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 6 weeks straight, and Wesley South had ran for office here. Also, Julian Bond, you're familiar with.
I've definitely with the history about Julian Bond. He supported him all the way through as a delegate. Yeah.
He had kind words for Adam Clayton Paul. Judah Muhammad Speaks newspaper. He provided a platform for Harold Washington, Ralph Metcalf, Richard Newhouse, and several other ones. And Ralph Metcalf, they used to come to the mosque. So this is, and then bringing more currently, you had, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, or even remember Dr. Aleem and some other brothers during the time it ran.
Right
for
when I
office
was coming into
Coast.
the nation a few years before.
And our dear brother, Brother Wasim out of Canham, New Jersey, is on the school board, and so is Sister Noor is also involved also. And so it's a lot, and you got Brother Marcus in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and it's another brother that's a mayor that name eludes me right now. But certainly we are involved, and we definitely have our best interests at heart. So I know you can add on to that, and you can talk about.
I think the importance of it is us being involved in our community and having that influence, because wherever you see activity and energy and movement, it's a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, somewhere seen or unseen, energizing that. Because we have that spirit, that impetus, and we also have that love for our community. And so it's important that people see us and they can touch us and they can feel us. And when we come in, whatever's going on, we energize it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I see that you're pretty much sought after then. So
yes.
The people come.
They come to me now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so is this something that you do you pretty much work solo? You have other people that you're training, or after people those that have been victorious and those that may have even lost, were they still grateful for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's again, to teach Honorable Elijah Muhammad instills in us that work ethic, integrity, because you have some people that do this type of work, they do it for the money, they'll throw your stuff in the trash, but as Muslims, it's always that feeling, like you say in say in Islam, that you worship as though Allah is present right there with you. And so when we work as though Allah is watching us.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the type of integrity that we bring to the table, that we do our absolute very best to give an honest day's work for, honest day's pay.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we've been taught.
And so you're definitely, obviously you one of those that you don't had your Islam in the bushel basket.
No.
They know what you represent, because when it comes to these political events, all it seems like they do a lot of times is just party. So they party and they drinking, other things happen, but you're able to maintain.
Absolutely, absolutely. They people, not to say folks had offered me those type of things, but I'm like, no, thank you, I'm a Muslim. And people begin to understand, respect. As a matter of fact, I'm working for a client remotely in Birmingham, and they understand that either I have Muslims working with me or people that are influenced. And so we can just get some sausages. He's like, oh, I forgot you Muslim, so we're going to try to make it where we just have cheese pizza so everybody can eat good. So people start respecting it. My first experience with a former sheriff candidate and his campaign manager, it was different. He was like, are you a terrorist? All that type of stuff, because he never dealt with a Muslim. But as the more people saw me, they warmed up, and they understand that we have that level of integrity and respect and influence.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what do you have? What are you working on now? And
after this is over with, I still try to be engaged in the community, working on Kwanzaa for the city of Birmingham, and I've been working doing Kwanzaa events now for 14 years in Birmingham, and so we're partnering with the Omega Sci-Fi chapter and Omega Sci-Fi chapter in Birmingham, a community center, Crescent Culture Community Center. Also partner with the city of Tarrant, and we'll be doing some things with the city of Birmingham.
Yes, sir.
To introduce Kwanzaa before Kwanzaa happens. So it's exciting, and again, I think that balance, because we as Muslims, we have that integrity. We don't smoke, we don't drink, we're not out, chasing people,
Yes, sir.
chasing women, or vice versa.
Or men.
Yeah, or men.
Yes,
So we have that integrity. So we bring a level of professionalism and morality and light in everything we do.
So what's the atmosphere now in Birmingham? Because I know it's been a while since I've been down there, and I know Brother Mandene used to often say whenever he came to town, he left his brain in a locker. I mean, is that still the case? It seems like it's an awakening coming about as far as our people there in Birmingham.
I think so. I believe our folks are waking up. It's a young mayor. That's the mayor in Birmingham now. So now I think his position is he's pushing more younger leadership force. So it's younger people, 20s, 30s, and some 40s that's being leadership. And then and COVID produced a surge in small pop-up businesses. A lot of people, like one guy that works, I have a business organization, we promote black business. He started his own brand of clothing, socks and bathing suits and sweatsuits and jackets and hats. And so it's a surge in black business going on, more interest in supporting black businesses now.
Have anybody tried to draft you into office?
Again, I'm Muslim. So they not, I'm gonna stand on what we stand on, so not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
But no political aspirations as of right now. Or do you have them?
Yeah, I do have them, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, you did have a
I ran for city council.
Okay, I forgot all about that.
I ran for city council in 2019, and that was a special election. In 21, I was about to run, but I couldn't put ingredients together, and I learned from traveling on road work, you got to have funding, you got to have organizational structure. So I decided to work with some folks. A couple of them won, and a couple of them didn't win, but it worked out well.
Well, let me ask you this, because in losses for a wise person, there are lessons learned. So, what have you taken away from being a consultant, to running, unfortunately, an unsuccessful election run, and what have you taken from that, and what have you taken from the likes of those that came before you, like a Mayor Arrington and the others that may have come before you?
I think Mayor Arrington gave an example of running a tight ship, having great influence, mentorship. He mentored a lot of people, and he was just a brilliant person. As many of his mentees would tell me later, because I've been mentored by some of his people that he mentored, that he was a zoologist, so he really studied the way people think, and he always planned in advance. Unfortunately, in the last 15 years, now you see a lot of debates between mayor and city council. One thing that he did was a wise thing. He always met with the city council several days before either his home or someone else's home, so there would never be a public outburst or public differences between the mayor and the city council, even though it is. But what I learned from the losses is that I think in Birmingham we don't have, in some mature cities you do, where you train candidates better so they have an understanding of finances, organizational structure, so their campaigns run good. Because some of the things that I learned was that sometimes people will put their friend, like I may do with the quote-unquote field operations, which is door knocking in the street, but they'll make their friend or somebody they like as the campaign manager, who they may like, but they're not doing what the best interests of that candidate, and they lose because of that. And so I think that having training for candidates, a candidate school, I think would probably be better in the future. Maybe I'll probably choose more wise to get more experienced candidates, because sometimes if they're not experienced, they make critical decisions that could cause their loss.
It's funny. It's interesting that you bring that up here in Chicago. I don't know if you remember Roland Burroughs. He was appointed U.S. Senator when Governor Blagojevich was then governor, and he was appointed. He was a U.S. Senator for a brief period of time, but he was formerly Attorney General here as well. But long story short, he developed a school, for classes to teach young people about, what they don't teach in school anymore, the civics, and what you were talking about, and just the the foundational information. And it was something, you know, I had the opportunity to interview him a couple of times, and he said something with a lot of the younger politicians in particular now, it's a big difference because many of them want to be politicians instead of being public servants. And so, you know, I would just want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, I think that
Because let me help
Sure.
push it forward, because he was saying that a politician, he's just thinking about the next election. The public servant, he's thinking about the people. So, you know, and if we look at what we're dealing with now, sometimes, you know, you get people who may think of this as an opportunity, as a come up, as they say in the street. You know, so they don't really have the best interests of the community at heart. So, but you know, as someone that's been around and still got youth on his side, I was just getting your thoughts about that.
I think it's got to be a balance.
Okay.
The one candidate had, I won't say his name, he was not personable toward the people that worked with him, but he was a consummate public servant, but he didn't like the campaign. And so his detractors would always take away from his reputation of what he was doing, when he did a great job as a public servant, but he never campaigned. So I think it's a balance. But I mean, I agree with you. Some people are using it as a career politician, especially when it comes to our area, when people that run for judge, if their law practice is low, they run for judge because they got a guaranteed income. And if you go for so long, then you can retire and then you can come back and practice law. And so you got two streams of income coming in. So I think that's very true. But it's got to be a balance between public service and campaign. And then working on the road, with this company that I've been working for, I understand that finances really play a big part in campaign. If you don't have that money or a machine, you will lose. And so, but money plays a big part. Even if you don't have a machine, if you got that money, it makes a big difference. And so we have some politicians that they campaign every time they go. They're giving out candy, cookies, potato chips, hot dogs. They dancing with the old folks, you know, and that type of thing. But it keeps them out there. So it's got to be a healthy balance between being a public servant and being a politician. And where we come in as the Muslims is to apply the pressure that they make sure that they serve the people right. And we necessarily got to call them out, but we call them to the carpet, either openly or privately, and say, look, you got to be with the people or we're not going to be with you.
Yes, sir. And what have their response been?
We ain't got there yet, but we coming. We coming to them.
So you finishing up your contract, what you were doing in Detroit. You looking forward to going back home? I
really am. It's too cold.
Too cold, huh?
It's too cold in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what? And I know you may have mentioned it, but you say you had some. You already got something set up, ready to go once you get back there. Huh?
Well, yeah, I'll be doing that. I probably got to work for about a month. I'm good for about a month. We've been hitting it hard. And I've been working remotely and some other things in Birmingham. So I'm good right now. I'm just focused on the community event in December.
Okay, so you're not just going to sit around and kick your feet up. You're still working though, right?
Oh, yeah. Not as hard.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You're working smart, not hard. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Well, look, brother, this is abbreviated more. I don't want to have you in town and not have opportunity to talk to you. It's a long way. We've been at this for a while now. I'm thinking I got a flashback of one of those first interviews Brother Mandene did with you. Was at one of his friends' homes.
Yeah, he was fried fish. Scooter, the preacher. Yeah. Me and my good friend Anwar. But I always think about this. Me and my friends always talk about CROE, and what we always think about CROE is that you're small but organized, and that cohesiveness is very encouraging and inspiring. And as yourself, we all learn a lot from Mandene, because of the way Mandene work politicians. That's why I use him as my blueprint to learn how to work them better, because we got to be able to do it. We need you to give us what we need, and they need us to give them to people. So we got to be more intentional about building a relationship with those public servants that serve our people.
Yeah, like as a saying go, you walk in a room like God sent you.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
And so they have to understand, just like I understand this vehicle that we have here, we've been doing this for over 30 years as far as a television show. And it has to be respected, because this is a vehicle, this is, you know, as I always say, this is anti-mainstream so-called media. You know, they'll talk to you for 30 minutes, and then when you look on to see yourself on TV, you got a good 15, 20 seconds of a sound bite. So there's a chance for a person to come on to state their case, speak their platform and get their message out.
And I say this too. I was reading a couple of papers and talking to folks, and as well as I know in Alabama, the beautiful thing about Muhammad and Friends, most black media don't get support from politicians. Mandene and the work of the CROE family has made sure that they respect this platform, whether it's Muslim or not. Most black media, unless they're controlled by corporate America, are not getting any dollars. I can say this. The larger politicians, I won't say a name, some of the larger politicians in Alabama that has run for office probably maybe give 5 or 2% to black consultants and black media. But the beauty of what y'all doing, you stayed the course, and Muhammad and Friends is a definite platform, a vehicle for black and white politicians to reach the community.
Absolutely, and the more you talk, it's even though brother would he joked about leaving his brain in the locker, but he truly loved where he came from. He loved Alabama, and it's been numerous times that we were down there that we did extensive videotaping and filming and interviewing people down there, and so politicians and public servants and just the average person as a whole. So we've done a lot of work down there, and
definitely,
in Alabama. So it's been great. So but knowing that you're still down there,
absolutely,
holding the torch, it gives us a reason to pay a visit again, my brother.
Absolutely. But the CROE family is a family that I just never knew I had, and Mandene was the uncle that I didn't know I needed till I met him.
Yes,
know?
sir. Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. Well, look, my brother, you had a good 30 seconds. Give me just a closing statement on anything you want to say as you close on now.
Sure. There was a laborers meeting that I went to, and I wasn't a laborer at the time, 20 years ago, that Mr. Akbar was speaking at, and his words still echo in my mind, that he said that the Muslims, we ask people to come to our stuff, but we don't support each other's things. And so my thing to say is that and I'm intentional about it, we got to be more intentional about being out in the community and supporting our people so that our people can support us. But bigger than that is, we have the light and the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, and what emanates from us is healing, encouraging, and inspirational. And every time that we go out into our community and just talk to people, sometimes not even saying, like the beauty when the minister was at Aretha Franklin's funeral, he never said a word, and he just emanated love. And just
the most impact.
Yeah, our presence brings a lot of love and encouragement to people. And so I already know that what y'all do, but for those that don't know, that get out in the community, reach and touch someone. The way the brother minister was saying, beautiful. I just want to say to him, it's beautiful how you all reach out and touch the community, and Allah will bless us with that.
But and let me hold you to that point before I let you go. But that's an excellent point that you bring up.
Yeah.
Because you do that as well. I mean, I've seen you in action down in Alabama.
Yeah.
And you're just a friendly, engaging brother. You may be statuesque, that one an opposing figure on first sight, but you're just a good-hearted brother.
Yeah.
And I see why the people, they would say was sent for Brother Clarence. Reach out for Brother Clarence because you definitely engage and you know how to make the people feel welcome. So
absolutely,
that's something. Yes, sir. All praise due to that's something that you have to hold on to and continue to amplify, my brother.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Yes, sir. So again, I thank you so much, man.
My pleasure and my honor. I had to be here. I said, it was truly Allah's will that I would have those days off, that I could come and spend time here in CROE. I haven't been here since before the pandemic, right before the pandemic, so I'm thankful.
All praise due to Allah. All right, well, we make sure that we won't let a pandemic or anything else keep us apart that long again.
Yes, sir.
All right, my brother. Well, look, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a break. We're going to bring yet another CROE member to talk more about these teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And remember, this is a call-in show. The number is 773-434-6625. And we'll be right back with more interesting conversation. We'll be back.
It's against your own health. That how creates more diseases in your body than you have any dreams of. In fact, about it, stop eating the hog, eat right, eat the proper food, and you will find 75% of your sickness leaving you. Yes, just try it.
And we are back. I'm Brother Mandene T. Muhammad. Welcome back to Muhammad and Friends. We are doing a streaming live show. The number is 773-434-6625. If you're watching us via Facebook, please like and share the broadcast. If you're checking us out via CROE TV's YouTube channel, please like and share and subscribe to our channel so you'll be notified every time we go live. So I want to thank our dear brother Clarence Muhammad for joining me earlier for that abbreviated segment. Certainly enjoy his insight and into the goings on of the political world, and just appreciate his time. He's a well-traveled brother, and he generally has a good heart, so I really appreciate that. But from one political junkie to the next, I'm looking forward to this conversation. Our dear brother CROE member, our very young flamethrower, brother Mike Taqee. So how you feel, brother?
I feel good.
Yeah, I figured I had to get that in there. So I think it's my first time talking to you on camera, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
All right, well let's go at it then, brother.
All right.
So, but I did state that that you keep abreast of the situations and the goings on of politics and everything, but you're a well-learned brother as well. You know you're not just a construction fella. You know, an iron worker, retired fireman. You know, all of that by trade. You you're well-rounded.
Thank you.
And so that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, brother. So because most people they just do one of those jobs and just go home at night and just kick their feet up and wait for the next day. But you utilize God's time to the best of your ability.
Absolutely.
And try to make that your brain muscles grow.
Yes,
so talk about that. How did that even come about?
Oh wow. Well, again, assalamu alaikum, brother. And thank you so much for having me here. It's always a pleasure to sit in this seat and then to be able to get interviewed by you for the first time. It's an absolute honor. But you know, being here at CROE, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad just wraps your brain around nothing but pure truth, and you get to the point where you just start chasing truth. Everything else is secondary. Whatever you do, you end up doing it better. You know, so when I came here as an iron worker, I thought it made me a better iron worker, better father, better husband. When I became a fireman, I thought this helped me then too. When I left both of those trades, I didn't sit down and stop working because the work still has to be done. You know, people say, well, why are you working so hard? You're retired now. I say, well, I'm retired from the job. I'm not retired from life. Right. You know, we still got a mission to do. And being a part of this organization, our duty is still to deliver the message plainly, which means we have to know what's going on. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings pretty much put you in the room with anything and everybody. And once you come into that level of understanding and that level of knowledge, you kind of become a junkie. And it's not so much, I like that term, a political junkie. That's but it's actually more broad than that. It's a junkie of truth, and that comes from being a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's great because it is our duty to obtain more and more knowledge. You know, when you awaken to coming into the teachings, you like the messenger said, you not only you a fresh fish, you go out there and try to test what you know, but you're always trying to go out there, as they say, you know, sharpen your sword. Yes. Make sure your blade is sharp and your blade is always ready, because you never know when you may have to go into battle. But you know, you're not only you're well read, also and now you're becoming a world traveler as well. And Brother Mandene used to always say, you know, wise man will travel, but if he's smart, he'll read.
Yeah.
If he can't afford to, he'll read. But
Yeah,
if he's
afford
really
it.
smart, then he'll do the combination of the two.
That's right.
And but that's part of our makeup, our teaching is to, you know, that's Quran in the Bible. They say, read in the name of our Lord. The first command was read.
Yes.
You know, so were you always like that? I know you touched on the part of the political aspect, but I mean, it's just as far as that, you know, just really, you know, trying to add to your repertoire, you know, your vocabulary or whatnot, you know, because even though you proclaim yourself to be a kind of a recluse, but you still have to end up engaging with people because every time you come to the podium, you're being confronted by somebody. So it looks like you're leaving the house at some point.
Yes, sir. And I don't deliberately try to be a recluse. It's just that I try not to participate in a lot of the activities and stuff going on. But you have to come out and engage every now and then. People are going to call you antisocial. And then you have relatives and friends, so you have to see them. And then you have to engage people. But people know where we're coming from. As a member of CROE and a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I went through a lot of stuff in my 18 years here, and the 1st of December will be going into my 19th year. So I've been sharpening my sword, but more importantly, that truth that I came into the knowledge of, it never ends. And then you start testing it. You know, and it's just amazing when a lot of people gravitate to it. A lot of people will do battle with you. And as time go on, people stop wanting to battle with you over the truth. And some of your starchest enemies, or your adversaries, I should say, start to become your best friends. And these people start behind your back. These people are singing your praises. And it's really the truth that they're singing. And it's the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when you come into that and you start traveling around and dealing with people, all of that start to come to the forefront, and you realize that, you know, you got something to offer to people that they want. You might not always want to give it, and I just don't like to have to debate with people. I think somebody once said this phrase, I only debate I only debate with my equals, all others I teach. I don't know who coined that phrase, but being in this arena, you watch how Brother Munir, how he used to get down. He walked in the room like he owned the room, you know, so he didn't go around people to learn so much from them. He went to them to deliver the truth. And I try to behave like that, but everybody don't want to hear that. So sometimes you have to be what I would call somewhat reclusive, because you have to go where you want it and not go in arenas when you beat up people, nobody wants to be exceeded in intelligence. And when you walk in the room and you know more than everybody, like Brother Munir used to say, you got to check your brain after the door. Sometimes you get tired of doing that. Sometimes people don't want to see you coming, and you're like, oh man, I ain't gonna be able to say nothing to this Negro, because you tend to be more well-rounded, more read, as you said. If you keep up with things, it's hard for people to run a game on you.
Yes, sir. You know, I want to take you back, because you're kind of an open book. You're very candid about your journey into Islam, as taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you often talk about, you know, you were able to come through the doors twice. So, you know, I just wanted you to talk about that, and you know, by doing so, just, you know, let the people know, you know, about redemption, you know. So, but talk about your journey into Islam and what got you interested.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it's a long story. Let me try to condense this the right way, so I'm not talking for too long. But it first started with this book here, Message to the Black Man.
Yes, sir.
And it started there, and I'm not quite sure how I arrived at that book. It's just this black thing was going on in the 80s, you know, and I had my kufis and dashikis like everybody else, you know, and Minister Farrakhan was talking. I wasn't trying to be a Muslim at all, but I started, you know, reading. I was always an avid reader, to answer your question from earlier. I was always a reader and seeking a truth. I was a big science nut when it wasn't cool to be into science like that. So I was always into whatever was the truth. I didn't care who said it. Like the messenger said, you accept the truth wherever it come from. So I read Message to the Black Man in 1987, and I was instantly hooked. When the book opens with "Who is that mystery God?" I couldn't stop reading it. But when I had that light bulb moment, Brother Mandene, when he said that the black man was the original man on the earth, and that was my light bulb moment, and I was hooked from that point on. I knew that that had to be the truth. And as I read on, I realized that not only was that the truth, that this is the direction I needed to go in. Now, mind you, I'm in the street, drinking, smoking, chasing girls, trying to put my hand up every woman's dress I can. You know, so, I mean, I'm doing everything that everybody, I came that way, you know. When I came here in 1992.
I did say you was a candidate, didn't I?
I wasn't right, you know what I mean? But most Negroes would know. They all came that way too. Most black people come up like that. When I grew up in the 70s, it was hot pants and halter tops. So this is what we were into, drinking, womanizing, and doing everything. I read that book, and I'm trying to teach for Message to the Black Man with a Heineken in one hand and a cigarette in the other, right?
Yes, sir.
So but I did have enough sense to know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said a good name is worth more than gold. So in 1992, in August of 92, I changed my name from Michael Taylor to Michael Taqee. I kept Michael out of respect to out of my mother. She wanted me to be named Michael, but Taylor didn't mean anything.
Yes,
so I got rid of that name, and I chose the name Taqee. That's a whole nother story. But even then, in 1992, I tried to come here, and the streets were calling me. I could not stay. I think I came twice, and I never came back. As time went on, fast forward, I'm doing well. I'm doing well in my career. It seems like something's missing though, and I was doing well economically. I was rising up in my career. I mean, I'm doing great. I don't have any issues with buying real estate. Everything's going well. It just seemed like something was missing. And it might have had something to do with losing all of my family members in the 90s. I woke up in 1997, and I was the oldest living member in my family. So that was kind of. I realized I can't make any more mistakes at that point because there is nobody else. I'm the oldest living member in my family. But as time would have it, as some would say, luck, I think God was working on me, and he was little by little bringing me up to where it was time for me to come back home. So when I realized in my studies and my reading, I'm starting to realize everything I'm reading, I've read someplace before, and I realized it was in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's books. I went back, revisited the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because I first had him up there with, you know, Steve Biko, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. I put all of them in the same pool. I did not realize the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was divine. They was just all great black leaders, you know, all of them. But I realized there was something different about this man. And that's what brought me back to CROE, because I came to the realization that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was exactly who he said he is. Nothing more, nothing less. And a light bulb went off. I'm like, well, if that's true, then that means this man talked to God. So I came back to CROE, not so much to join CROE and follow the messenger, but to see, is that true? Because if that's true, that would be the greatest knowledge I could ever have learned in my life. And I actually came back here on my birthday in 2004. And I told myself, if that's true, this would be the best birthday gift I could ever give myself. That was 18 years ago, and I've been here ever since. And I can bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is just that, exactly who he say he is, nothing more, nothing less. And that's what, in a nutshell, that pretty much is my journey into the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And to being a Muslim, I learned how to be a good Muslim. I learned how to be a follower, and I'll make no illusions. I have no illusions that I'm one of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's best followers or anything like that. I'm not the most dedicated or the most, how would you say, consistent, but I'm absolutely one of the most loyal. I absolutely believe to the point where I've went beyond belief. I know, because I've tested it. So that's what keeps me here, because I know he is who he say he is. And the only way we are going to succeed or reach the promised land, so to speak, as black people think they're on there, it's not going to happen within this system. It happens on the earth in the hereafter. It's through those teachings. So that's the only way out for us. It's the only way we're going to win. And when this is all said and done, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is going to be the winner, whether he's here or not. And I'm going along for the ride.
Yes, sir. You know, there's one portion of that, and that was well stated, that I want you to build on, and you say it often whenever you speak. You always speak to the divinity of Messenger Elijah Muhammad, and you don't make no bones about it. I mean, you don't just say it to be saying it. You say it and you back it up, and you show that you study, and not just the books, Message to the Black Man, so forth and so on, but also, I guess, people may say the religious aspect, the Quran and the Bible. You use scripture, that's what I'm trying to say. Use scripture to back up what you're saying. How did you come to that conclusion? Because most people just leave. We've had people. I've been there long enough to see people come and go, just like you stated earlier. And there's been a lot of people who say they love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I believed them, but it was just something keeping them from that divine aspect, that spiritual, portion of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. They just didn't see him as, he's a great man, he's produced some great men and great women. Yeah. But it's just, I can't get with that spiritual, that divine aspect of Elijah Muhammad. And you're someone that, like I said, you're gonna get it's either you like you don't.
That's right.
So there's no in between. And so you're not for a lot of games. So for someone that serious, how did you come to that conclusion for yourself?
See, that's the one, and maybe I had an advantage. That's the one that that's what brought me back to CROE, and that's the advantage I think I had in the beginning. I've always loved science. It's the whole Quran and the Bible is rooted in science. All the truth that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, the truth in the Quran, is rooted in science, and it can be tested with mathematics. I've tested a lot of it. I've proved a lot of it, not just verbally and going back and forth with people, but the sciences, all the sciences and the natural laws that we all have to be governed by, that the Creator set forth, that every God from that point on has to bear witness to, and all His messengers, all that science is in those books, and a lot of it is testable. So the science part is how I got to the divinity part, because all of God's truth is right in our face. Like you can look at the trees right now; they all turning yellow on their own, and they all gonna just go back into their shells. All the leaves are gonna drop, and like magic, or what appears to be magic, come spring, they're gonna all bounce back up, and leaves are gonna turn green right away again to give us that oxygen that we need from the trees, and we give them that carbon dioxide. It's all nothing but science. See, that was the easy part. The divinity is in the science. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when you listen to him talk, when you get past the words, the great words he's saying, it's pure science in his words. And when he talked from the Quran, it's not just the people and the lessons and the instructions. All of it is rooted in science. And even the Bible, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it's a great book if you understand it, but it's just like playing with rattlesnake poison if you don't. So the science part of the Torah, gospel, and the Quran is what made it easy for me to see the divinity. And once I realized what Elijah Muhammad brought to the table, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I realized that, yeah, he's tapping into that same science, that same knowledge that all the prophets before him tapped into, that the Creator left here. Nobody can get past that law. And he tapped right into it, and I was able to see it and understand it, because science is one of the things I love the most.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was well said. That's what I'm talking about. You're able to tie all of that in there, and so that was beautifully well stated. So I really appreciate that. So let's talk a little. Let's bring it up to speed a little bit and talk about a few current things, man. So, I was talking to some of the brothers here, and I was just telling them. I think even you alluded to it today. Something to the effect of. With the youth, when the youth are waking up, we're getting close.
Yeah.
And, we're living in wartime right now. We are literally in the middle of a war. And there are a large amount of our people in particular that don't realize that. Yeah. And that's not good. And the Bible talks about it plainly. The last battle would not be against, flesh and blood,
yes, right,
but principalities and I always get that last part. Something in high places,
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
But it's going after that mind. I know Messenger Elijah Muhammad talked about, in the last days, the devil will be in the very house with you. He'll be coming to your TV, and we see, we see what's going on with that. I mean, it's so many. you know, with the TV and the social media and the different aspects, it's the gift and the curse. It's to be ignorant in this day and time is definitely a choice, because there's so many outlets, so many ways for you to gain knowledge. You can just sit there on your phone at hours. You can either learn something. I tell you, I put it this way. You know, Brother Nuri had spoke today, and he was saying something. You know, either what you're taking in is either going to be tonic or toxic.
That's right.
You understand? So we get that option. It's about choices nowadays. Either what we take in, because How to Eat to Live is definitely a book about eating food, the right food at the right time. But it's also about, you know, taking in that right mental food also. And so, again, so what we take in is either going to be tonic or toxic. And so you taking a lot of information.
Oh, man.
And I don't see how you have time for any of the foolishness that I may watch or other people may watch, you know. But you pride yourself and every time you get the photo, you is me and the Queen was sitting looking at some documentary or something, you know. So how, do you look for them? I mean, there's particular ones you're looking for. I mean, is it something you just come across? I mean, and this is another thing. I know I'm kind of babbling on, because it was a time I recall that, I don't know if you remember Entertainment Tonight. It used to come on at 6:30 on Channel 2. That was the only entertainment-based show out at that time.
Yeah, right.
If you remember.
Okay.
Speed that up to 2022. You got
Wow.
whole channels
dedicated
to just entertainment news, just foolishness. Just, I mean, and not only channels, but they got shows for it also.
Yes.
And we're just bombarded. So it's like we have to counteract that with shows like this. You know, documentaries of news, good news that you may look at. So how are you able to navigate through all that filth and foolishness to come across good food?
Oh, brother, that's a good one. A great statement. That was hard, but it took a lot of practice. You know, being a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we tend to recognize truth from falsehood right off the bat anyway. And like you said, we were starting to be bombarded with it, man. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere on social media, and you had to sift through all the garbage and all the BS, you know what I mean? But me and the Queen, we pride ourselves. We learned how to navigate. As you know, I don't use social media at all. You know, I think the spy programs, I remember how they started, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and all of that.
Yes,
they all started through the CIA, FBI, Mossad, Interpol. But that's another story. But we learned how to navigate. So we can go through YouTube, BitChute, and we search for the keywords, the key phrases. The truth is there, like you say, but it's surrounded by so much smoke and mirrors that you can get caught up, you know, being misdirected someplace else. We learned how to navigate. And all of it's there. You don't have to research anything anymore. You just have to access it. But if you know where to look and who to listen to, it's really not that hard. And I learned from this show. There's nothing but truth coming out of this show. So this is my basis for how truth is going to be filtered into my mind. And as soon as I see the garbage, I know how to flum straight through. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that's the truth. Now I have to see if that really is the truth, because now I got to look over in Europe and say, what's happening in France? Is that really happening in France? And then you learn how to chase it. That comes from following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You have to chase the truth to the root. And it's not hard to do, but I've practiced at it. And in my opinion, I think I've come pretty good, because if we ain't watching what's going on around the world, we're going to fall a victim right here in this country. So in a nutshell, in the summary, we learned how to navigate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well stated. We got a phone call. I guess they realized we were live. So, caller, you on the air?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
I was listening to the show and it popped out and because I'm traveling. And so now it picked back up again. I did enjoy my brother Clarence. He's a hard-working brother, you know, a traveling man, a supreme black Muslim. And my brother that you interviewing right now, Brother Mike Taqee, man, brother, you're so inspiring. You know, it is just wonderful that you had these two brothers on.
Praise be to Allah.
Brother Mandene. So, you know, may Allah bless us all to keep developing and develop some, let's say, replacements as well.
I praise be to Allah, yeah. That's something that's been stressed here for as long as I've been here. You know, always looking for replacements. As Brother Mandene always would tap things into movies, you know, but You know, I was talking about looking for replacement killers, as he stated. But any young brother in particular, you know, he would take to the side if they showed just a bit of interest in this. So, but nah, brother, that's something that I've learned, that, you know, those that have a particular gift, or if it's something about them that's going to help us out as far as amplifying the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then we have to utilize those people. And then of course they can't embarrass us. They got to be able to talk, know what they're talking about. So we're not just going to have you on and bring you on to talk about what you're going to talk about. A lot of times, you know, you may not be seen as a benefit to you. We don't want you embarrassing yourself or your household.
That's right.
So, but no, brother, but that's definitely not the case with you, my brother. You're well learned, as we already stated, and we just hope that someone out there in the viewing audience will be encouraged, you know, because it's, you know, this, like I said, when the messenger said the devil will be in the very house with you, don't you, that TV, it's so many things.
It is.
Whatever your taste, what's the word I'm looking, whatever your
vice.
fancy, your vice, you know, they got something for you, man. Whether it's sports, you know, the field, you know, whatever.
You name it. Yeah.
We gonna look. They got it, so we gonna get you one way or the other. So it's hard, even if you're looking at a documentary, you know. God forbid you're looking at it on YouTube, they're going to cut the commercial with something that they want you, they're going to cut to a commercial with something that they want to see.
That's right.
But, hey, man, look, this is, I appreciate it. And, you know, you taking time out and doing this interview with me today, my brother. We got a couple of minutes. And so I just want you to be able to get out whatever it is that's on your mind, man.
All right. Well, you were mentioning all the distractions that's going on, and you know, this time in which we're living in, and you got to understand we understand. A lot of people don't understand. And this is the devil's job. You know, you can't get mad at the devil because he's the devil. He know his time is up. His time is running out. And the messenger says, look at him right over there in the Bible in 2 Thessalonians.
Yes, sir.
That's when this dude is going to be revealed. And as he's being revealed, everybody's looking and going like, hey, is that what I think it is? He's going, whoa, stop looking over there. Look over here. That's why we got so many distractions. And even the book, and I think I alluded to that today, in the book, also in 2 Thessalonians, as all these distractions all in your house with the TV and the social media, of course there's going to be a falling off. The truth is out there so much, but he's doing a hell of a job to keep everybody from seeing it, that the truth is now hated upon. Evil is now spread far and wide, and people are lovers of evil. And so there's a falling off of the truth and the way of God. And that's what's going on today. It appears nobody loves God save a few. You know, so these people have set it up because they know it's the end for them. But that's the beauty of it. Just like in the days of Noah, only a few knew, you know, but when the flood waters came, they were banging on the ark and it was too late. Noah closed the door. He couldn't open it up lest they all drowned, right? Same with Lot. When it was time and it was over, and that's where we headed now, Lot had to get out, and hey, man, Sodom and Gomorrah burned, you know, so we're getting to that now where, hey, look, man, everybody know. And if you don't know this because you're looking at too many distractions, the truth is everywhere, literally everywhere. He's telling you, if you listen to him, he's telling you what his plan is for the world. He's telling you who he is. Now, he don't want you coming out saying it. And this is why I get young cats like Kyrie Irving and Kanye West. The truth is everywhere. The messengers say, you would not be coming into the truth of these things if it were not the time. Now, these young cats know. Everybody really know, because these guys had a lot to lose to come out. Imagine somebody that don't have as much to lose, and they still scared to talk. So it's the time that everybody has to wake up. You either choose the right side. I've been saying for the longest too, you either all in or all out. If you can't see now, it's pretty much over. You got to be all in or all out. Now that don't mean we can't live on the earth with these surrogates of the devil until God removes this and change this thing over. We are here. We have to deal with them, do business with them, commerce, get along with them. We ain't gonna start a war. That's right. We got to be civil, and our duty is to civilize our people and take as many of us with us as we can. The Bible says we're going to, for all intents purposes, lose. Most of us are going to follow them, save a few. I'm grateful I'm on this side, but I'm always trying, you know, as we are at CROE, to deliver the message, to bring as many onto the side of truth. Just let them see the truth and let them make that choice as best they can. And if they make the right choice, then they'll be successful in this life and in the hereafter. So
praise be to Allah. Thank you so much, brother. I hope that you'll be able to join me again.
absolutely, bro.
Hey, man, look, I enjoyed this, man. Next
Me
time we
too,
actually
brother.
get
Thank
into
you,
some
sir.
topics, man.
Yes, sir.
Look, my dear viewers, thank you so much on behalf of Brother Clarence Muhammad and my brother Mike Taqee. I'm Brother Mandene T. Muhammad. Please, by all means, check us out. We'll be somewhere on TV very soon. So I know we're running out of time. May Allah continue to bless you with the light of understanding as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.